69, dudes!
Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another got us so excited at the time, we gave it the full 69. Nice. It's not just film of the year so far, it's potentially film of the decade. Nothing has hit the heights that this one has on a consistent basis through its 2 hours and 40 minutes runtime. Every performance, and I'm not just on about the DiCaprio, Del Toro, Sean Penn, Tiana Taylor, Regina Hall, Chase Infinity, these 6 actors all potentially could be nominated for awards. Every small character in this film is so perfectly cast and pitch perfect with their performance. It's in equal parts hilarious, horrifying, action-packed, dramatic. The score is haunting at points, it's dread-inducing, paranoia-inducing. The much-vaunted car chase, I mean, it's fantastic. It does stuff a film's never done before. It gives you that butterflies in your tummy as you come up and over the undulations of the hill. This film demands viewing in the best possible format. I was lucky enough to see it twice in IMAX, and the second time watching it halfway through, a little thing stuck into my head. As soon as the film hit digital, I went back and rewatched it, solely focusing on DiCaprio's character. Spoilers ahead, we'll be discussing the film start to finish. If you haven't seen it, go watch this movie. It's Channel 69's first deeper dive.
Deeper, Jonathan.
DiCaprio is a generational great. You cannot deny that he has a body of work unparalleled by any modern actor. He has worked with the greatest filmmakers of the last 50 years. He consistently challenges himself. The Wolf of Wall Street being a case in point where he took this character and this comedic approach to it and delivered some scenes that will live on in screen infamy. He's not ever taken that Marvel dollar. He's never going into the blockbusters. I think Inception, which you could argue he's taking because it's a Christopher Nolan film versus it actually being this big blockbuster. He's constantly making interesting choices, and this is another great example of that. His opportunity to work with Paul Thomas Anderson after turning down the opportunity to be Dirk Diggler in Boogie Nights, to be in that other blockbuster that he was starred in, Titanic, which turned out quite well for him. And this character is a buffoon. He's lost his mind to alcohol and drug abuse. He can't recall very key, important details that, could potentially save his and his daughter's life because of the choices that he's made. And what really struck me in this film is how passive a protagonist he is. He's similar to Jeff Bridges in The Big Lebowski, in that kind of almost like the character doesn't drive anything forward. The character is just a passenger in the journey and circumstance to the events around them. And I wanted to rewatch the film with that idea in mind. The idea being, does Bob Ferguson, does Pat Callaghan actually contribute anything to this narrative? Pat Callaghan, the character that DiCaprio embodies at the start of the movie, is vital. He's got energy. He's the munitions expert for the French 75. He creates their explosives, the distraction methods. He carries the smoke grenades. He's a vital cog of the machine. Vive la revolution! Demonstrating how to arm one of the explosives to Perfidia. And she's obviously attracted to his passion, to his character. And then as we see the wheels coming off in the relationship, as Perfidia struggles with the role of the mother, jealous of the attention that Pat's getting as the dad from the baby, the lack of responsibility from her side, anyone who's a parent, this sense of impending dread, this like responsibility, the weight of it coming upon you is clear in Pat's eyes. Coupled with the fact the lifestyle that they live as these revolutionaries, he can tell that something's not going to fit. The capture Perfidia, she decides to rat out on the French 75, and that's the point where Charlene and Pat, the baby, and DiCaprio have to leave, and they have to assume the identities of Bob and Willa Ferguson. And those first 33 minutes could be a short in its own right. It's a fantastic contained piece. But then we snap forward 16 years. You know, the sins of the parents, the wheels are set in motion a long time ago, and because of Colonel Lockjaw's desire to join the white supremacist group, he has to clear house. He has to get rid of that one thing that happened that he can't undo. He can try and get rid of, and that's, fortunately, Chase Infinity's character Willa. And at surface level, this film is about the lengths that a father would go to protect his only child. And that's absolutely fine. But when you dig deeper into it, like I said at the top, it's very clear that despite his best intentions, he is so inert in this movie. He's so impotent in this movie. Those actions he takes really don't have any meaning on the plot or narrative. And I just find that fascinating that you have DiCaprio, the marquee, the top name, head of the casting, and he's just playing this passive protagonist. And he's regressed. He's a child again. But it's not through lack of action. He, by all accounts, has raised a relatively strong daughter. The first scene we see of Bob is him smoking pipe in the car before going in for his parent-teacher meeting. And in there, he gets a bit emotional because the teacher's saying, she's a really good student, she's achieving this and that, and he gets emotional. Never knew her mother, he's done this all by himself. So by all accounts, he's done a solid job, and we see throughout the film that he has raised a very strong daughter, whether that's the mother's character that's within her that he's been able to allow to flourish and blossom. So we draw a quick line for Bob's narrative. He gets a call at home from the militia that Lockjaw's coming for him. He escapes. He tries to ring from a payphone, but because he's fried his brain, he can't give the key information for them to actually give him the location of the pickup, the rendezvous point where his daughter's going to be. His daughter's already been extracted by the militia, Regina Hall's character, so she's already safe and protected and on the way to somewhere without his assistance or help. He then decides he needs to be on the go, he needs to get a weapon. He goes to the dojo to meet Del Toro's sensei character. When it becomes apparent what's happening, he takes Bob in. He gives him the gun. Bob is on the phone trying to get the rendezvous point, and at no point does he recall. It's only his anger and frustration that allows him to speak to a supervisor that turns out to be one of his old buddies. They give him the location. Del Toro takes him there, and he gets to the mound, to the top of the hill, and he's looking down with the rifle at Colonel Lockjaw and his daughter. This is the point where Bob can take control of the narrative, rescue his daughter, and he shoots and misses. And then eventually he reunites with Willa at the end. But by that point, she's wrestled control. She has a similar narrative to an extent, whereby she's picked up by the militia, she's rescued by them, and it's only through the action of the fixer character who takes sympathy on her that she's free into the wind. But then she wrestles control, takes control, and is reunited with her father. So throughout that whole film, Bob Ferguson has just been a passenger. He's not at any point taken an action to wrestle control back, to seize the narrative, to save his daughter. He just ultimately picks her up at the end. But it's interesting, isn't it? Because if you think about it, he's already done all those pieces to create the character that she is. As a father, he's raised her in such a way that she's got that strength to be able to do that. And that becomes part of, I think, the film's final message, which is that he gives her the letter from her mum, which just reinforces everything she knew about herself already. And then she's off out there into the world to be her own person, to be a revolutionary of her own accord. And DiCaprio, Bob, Pat, he's there as a proud father. And I think that is ultimately what the central theme of this is about. It's about raising your kids to do right in the world. It's a strong, powerful movie. I will watch this many, many, many more times. And I'm interested to hear your thoughts and your comments on what you made of the film.
Deeper, Jonathan.
Would you like to know more?